get this started. All right, welcome everyone. Whether you're watching live or you're going to be watching at a later time, I put together a great episode for you. There's not going to be a whole lot of bells and whistles. I have a lot of documents and things to go over to show everybody. And I want everyone to understand clearly that this video may be used for law enforcement purposes. It may be used by FMCSA. It can be used by the DOJ. It can be used by anyone who feels that they need to act with the information that I provide in this video. This video is complete. It will have all the documents. It will have everything from start to beginning. It will lay everything out. I have some video clips. I'm going to show you a lot of things. The meat is at the end. So I'm not going to be playing any crazy stuff, any crazy music. I'm going to try to get through all these slides as smoothly as possible and explain them to everybody. The topic tonight, of course, is one of many. They're only one. But this is going to be the start of what's going on in the expedite industry that people need to know. And I'm Axel, and I'm bringing it to you. So our topic tonight is Hippix Logistics. Many people in the expedite industry know them or have heard of them. They're based out of Tennessee. This is from their website. This is the first slide. Next slide. This is also from their website, one of their pages. Tells who they are. They're a logistics transportation company that started with on-the-ground delivery experience. We provide our own vehicles. Our own vehicles, they state here on their website. With our own drivers, they're stating on their website. And represent the best of the best owner-operators nationwide. We use hands-on experience and tech-oriented approach to deliver results. Their goal on the bottom there is to set standards and simplify the world of logistics to effectively address the complex operation of the supply chain management. We help you achieve a competitive advantage. I want you all to remember what was said in here and what I'm going to show you. Next slide. These are their services. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but this is another page from their website. They claim to dispatch LTL, FTL, expedited hot shot, car hauling. You can go to their website. You can read it as much as you want. Go over it. Like I said, I have a lot of slides to get through. We're going to go to the next slide. Also from their page. Talks about dispatch services, high rate per mile, direct deposit, flexibility, adaptability. We deliver results, blah, blah, blah. Okay? It's also a page from their website. Next slide. This is from Google. This is their current address that they are using for their company. Phone number, straight off Google. Hippix Logistics. And later on, I'm going to point out something regarding their name alone. Next slide. This was a post, I believe, from them. Owner-operator for your own equipment. Cargo van, sprinter, box truck, straight truck, semi-truck. They also said semi-truck. They also said straight truck. I want everyone to remember those things. Dispatch services for you and your equipment. Pay every week, consistent loads, dedicated dispatcher, respectful environment. Next slide. This is their carrier authority. The address, Hippix Logistics. Logistics, I like to point out, spelled S-T-I-X. They have 0 power units, but 98 drivers. 0 units, 98 drivers. It has the Peabody Nashville address, and it's the Hippix with the STIX. Now we're going to go to the next slide. This is also straight from the Safer profile regarding Hippix. So you're going to see that this was granted, this authority, in April 9th of 2020. Is all the information here regarding them. It all matches. Next slide. This is the Peabody address, which when you search on Google, it looks and appears to be multiple businesses. It looks like a string of buildings, so there's a lot of businesses that run around and out of there. Nothing wrong with that, just pointing it out. Next slide. This is also from Google. Same thing, showing the DOT MC number. The Peabody address. Next slide. That address, Peabody address, goes to what's called the Nashville Entrepreneur Center. So that's what they call the place. You can Google it up, look it up later on, see what it's all about. Next slide. This is a screenshot from within the Sylectus Omnitrax system. They are a current member on Sylectus as of April 7th, 2021, showing the Peabody address, Peabody address, STIX, Hippix Logistics with the STIX at the end. So they have full access to Sylectus. Next slide. This is also from inside the Sylectus profile system. Same thing, showing all their information, who they are, emails, everything. With the MC number 1097654, Hippix Logistics with the STIX at the end. I know I keep repeating that. We're going to get to it. Next slide. Same thing, also within the Sylectus system. With all the matching information. If anybody needs any of these documents, feel free to reach out to me. My email is on my About section on the YouTube page. I have all these documents saved. Nothing can go away. Not only that, this video will be saved. Next slide. Same thing. Now this is the safety in review. Now I want everyone to pay attention here and take a good look, because on here there is no inspections. None. Zero. Yet they've claimed they move straight trucks and semi-trucks. They said their drivers, their vehicles, it was in their website. Next slide. Same thing. This is the operational information. They're a carrier. It says fleet size, even on here, 2 to 3. Safer profile said 0 units. On here it says 2 to 3. Drivers, 98. Next slide. This guy supposedly is a managing partner at Hippix Logistics. Managing partner, Mr. Joseph Carnes. Managing partner from April 2020 to present, 3 years, 1 month. Next slide. He posted this a while ago, 6 years old, but you know, stuff never leaves the internet, where he shared a video from a YouTube channel, and the title was Pen Testing. You're more than welcome to go check this stuff out later on. It's there. In fact, I even got this for you. He got it from this YouTube channel called Live Overflow. The description of this channel is just want to be a hacker, making videos about various IT security topics and participating in hacking competitions. Okay, next slide. This are screenshots from Mr. Carnes' LinkedIn profile. Obviously, he knows some things possibly. Community outreach, there's nothing wrong with that. Electrical troubleshooting, nothing wrong with that. But anyone who knows computer systems, this is where you have to start to ask yourself. Linux system administration, Linux network administration, system administration. Besides a bunch of other stuff on the right, HTML5, CSS, He's a very interesting character that's a managing partner at Hippix. Next, there's a small video clip of him, so he is a real person. He's not an imaginary person. Let me play the clip.
Good morning, my name is Joe Carnes. I'm Director of Operations and Partner Owner in Hippix Logistics. We are an expedite company. We're basically focused on the 1 to 3 days instead of a semi-truck, which is typically 4 to 6 days to get your freight there. It's mainly corporate freight, and we also do white glove services to the door and last mile. We'd like to help support Volusia County and its expedite needs.
Okay, he was there at this place, Port Orange, South Daytona Chamber of Commerce. And the reason why I'm putting this up here is because I see many times in life where a lot of times public officials and stuff get drawn in and maybe get themselves in trouble with dealing with certain people because they don't check them out. They don't know their background. They don't know what they're involved in. Just making a point. This was where he was at in that video clip. Next slide. He put a post once, or he liked to post, I should say. We all have secrets. Yes, Mr. Carnes, you and your company do have many secrets. Now, we're going to go to the next slide. Let me set this here. This is Mr. Andre Hippix. This is from his LinkedIn profile. And pays special note, special attention on top where it says BNB Top Management. And I will get to that also. But he is supposedly the owner of Hippix Logistics. But he's also the founder, and I put a little screenshot in there, of BNB Top Management. Booking, management, guest services, blah, blah, blah. A lot of good stuff. You can look this stuff up anytime in your free time. You can play the video back. Slow, pause, get what you need from it. Next slide. This is him. Screenshotted for you if you need any of this info. Mr. Andre Hippix, founder of Hippix Logistics. Next slide. This is also from his LinkedIn, where it shows founder of Hippix Logistics, full-time, 4 years, 2 months. Founder of BNB Top Management, 2019 to present, 4 years, 4 months also. Next slide. Now, these are the people, as far as LinkedIn is showing, that work or are associated with Hippix Logistics. You have a Gianna Court, Lozelle M., Joseph Carnes, Derek Brook, Michaela Guerrero. Pay close attention. Next slide. This is Gianna Court. I don't know what kind of connection she has with them. I just thought it was interesting that she's a benefits coordinator for Aflac, but she's also a managing partner of Hippix Logistics. It's showing from New York City. I just thought it was interesting. I figured I'd put it up here. Next slide. This is Lozelle M. Says dispatch officer. And if you look, I'm not sure if you can see it as clearly, but she's from Davao Region, Philippines. Davao Region, Philippines, this dispatcher. Providing services, virtual assistance, blah, blah, blah. Says on the top right there, Hippix Logistics. Next slide. This is the logistics and tracking coordinator, Michaela Guerrero, from Metro Manila. The reason why I'm pointing these out to you is because I have been told that Hippix, along with some other companies, use overseas dispatch, and I did hear, it was told to me, that Hippix uses dispatchers from the Philippines. Figured people need to know this. Be aware with who you're dealing with. Next slide, and I promise you, I have some good stuff coming up, so just got to line it out for you. Next slide. A couple of reviews. I'm sure glad I actually found a company that will reply and provides loads for you to run. This ridiculous company never answered any of my 10 emails. After uploading all the documents on their app, it sat for weeks saying they were reviewing the paperwork. During this time, I ran over $5,000 worth of loads for other dispatch apps. I suggest staying away from this unresponsive, unprofessional company. Sign Laser Focus Transport. Next one. Thought they were different from other carrier companies, but actually they're the same or even worse. When I think they could have done better because they once were drivers, rude and inconsiderate people making money on the back of drivers. Oh, and they're cheap too. I like the little one over on the far right here, though. They gave him 1 star also. One word, dishonest. I agree with this guy, 200%. Next slide. This is a screenshot of Hippix app. Hippix Logistics, spelled S-T-I-X. These are the two different, for some reason, two different colored. I put them both. It says box truck, and cargo van loads, box truck, cargo van loads. These are the screenshots of their app. This is what it looks like. This is how it comes out. Next slide. This is a screenshot of the actual app. I'm not going to say how I got this, how I continue to get this. But it shows in here in the app, they have 83 units in their fleet. I don't care if it's a difference from the 98 to the 83. I'm just pointing that they're running a lot of units. And it's not reported, as far as I can see, to the FMCSA. Next. Now, this is where it's going to start getting very interesting for you guys, and I want you to pay close attention, because what I show you from now till the end is also going to be in some future shows I'm going to put out, linking some other people. Here we go. In those apps, in the far right, I believe on one of them, if you click where it says website or something on the far right, just if you go to the app, you'll find this privacy policy. Searchable LLC, us, we, our, operates the website loadhive.com and the Loadhive mobile application, hereinafter referred to as the service. Okay? I'm not going to read the rest. It's there. But this Searchable LLC operates loadhive.com and the Loadhive mobile application. Next slide. This is Searchable LLC, their corporation filings out of North Carolina. There's their number down there in the bottom, 1462704. We're going to get to the next slide now. This is their agents and this is the mailing address, the principal office, regular office, blah, blah, blah. This is a limited liability company. This is all legit, shows who they are. Get to the next slide here. These are the managing members with their pictures, all of them, that run this Searchable LLC, which controls Loadhive. Now let's get to the next slide. This is a screenshot of the Loadhive app, Advanced Dispatch Automation and Load Management Platform. If you work with 15 or more drivers, fill out the form, blah, blah, blah. You can all go look it up. Next. Let this load up here. Okay, this is the website for Searchable. Let me turn it on here. This is their website. Mobile development, in-house design, web development, back-end development. Here's the same guys that are with that company. This is their projects. If you see here, the second one on their projects is Loadhive. Okay, so this company, 100%, they've said they're part of Loadhive. They are Loadhive. What else we got here? This is just shows they're into a lot of computer coding. Searchable LLC, they're out of Charlotte. Let's see what else we got there. Okay, now I'm going to go back up. I'm going to click on this Loadhive. And you see, I come to the Loadhive website. Have a load that needs to be shipped, get everything done using our one beautiful interface. Sounds nice, really. Increase hiring efficiency, 6,400 drivers in the network. Pay attention, everybody. I'm I'm also concerned because here, they have the stamp here from Tiana, the Expedited Association of North America. Okay? I'd click on this video for you, but when I click these videos within here, sometimes it messes up. So we're going to scroll past that. This app sets up where you can enter your driver's license, insurance, e-signature for contracts, voided check, and payment status. Why you should choose us. You'll have to go and look at this website. When you guys have time, go and look and study, and you're going to see, because I'm going to put it all together for you. The app's available on the App Store and Google Play. Frictionless load assignment. You see how that load looks there in that app? Let me keep going. GPS tracking. And on the bottom here, copyright 2022, Searchable LLC. Load Hive is a service mark owned by Searchable LLC. Nobody's going to be able to deny who owns what or who's doing what here. It's all going to be documented. Next slide. This is another address that Hippix used to use. Just putting it up here was also on Google. Same thing. I believe it was like a small shop or something. There was a bunch of companies running out of there. Now, another interesting slide coming up. This here is a second authority. A second authority for Hippix Logistics. Okay? You guys see it? Different MC number. Same address. Both authorities have the same physical and mailing address. Okay? This one says 0 power units, 2 drivers. However, the legal name says B&B Top Management LLC, doing business as Hippix Logistics. Let me scroll this up here. Next slide. So this is the other company here. The other carrier authority that is also Hippix. Here's all the information. It says here B&B Top Management LLC, same address, same everything. It all matches. Straight from the Safer site. Next slide. As you can see here, I blew it up a little bit for you. This carrier authority has just been granted February 28th, 23. We have a term sometimes in the restaurant business, something is cooking. Okay? 2 authorities from the same address. Next slide. Here's both of them, right on top of each other. Legal name Hippix Logistics, LLC. 41 Peabody, P.O. Box Chattanooga. 1 MC number, 0 drivers, or 0 units, 98 drivers. Second authority, B&B Top Management, doing business as Hippix. Same physical address, same mailing address. So, 2 authorities, 2 DOT numbers, same address. Next, we're going to talk about this a little bit here. Deep explanation of double brokering. When a load is double brokered, the originator of the load doesn't actually know who is hauling the load. The carrier hired to move the load could be one who is not vetted to the standards of the brokers. The carrier might not have the proper authority or satisfactory safety rating to actually move the load. This in turn puts the broker and the shipper at a significant risk to any liability, loss, or claim that occurs to the actions of the unqualified carrier. Past judgments and court rulings based upon the legal concept of vicarious liability has resulted in nuclear judgments being enforced on transportation companies because of carrier vetting and safety protocols not being followed, resulting in violations. These vetting and safety concerns are of paramount importance because the originator and broker do not actually know who is hauling the load. What happens if you double broker? This form of double brokering is illegal and described in the eyes of the law as theft of services, potentially leading to serious fines and even prison sentencing. This is very different from co-brokering, which is done legally with consent and with open channels of communication between the involved parties. I'm presenting these slides here because some drivers and some carriers may be unaware. Next slide. Risks associated with double brokering. The most prevalent form of risk associated with double brokering is the risk of shippers and brokers having to pay double for the loads. One might ask how and why shippers and brokers ever have to pay twice for a load. But it is a routing problem that plagues the trucking industry. The innocent version of double broker situation would be a trucking company that overbooked brokers a load to an owner-op or some other company they know or have a relationship with, and once the driver made the delivery, they would pay them. However, as a majority of people already know, the world is not so innocent of a place. Next slide. Double brokering occurs when a carrier accepts a load and then rebrokers it to another motor carrier. This is not a legal practice. Likely the motor carrier that rebrokers the load is not authorized or in compliance with Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, FMCSA. There are many challenges when this practice occurs. For example, it is easy for fraud to be committed. The motor carrier initially hired can keep the payment and leave the second motor carrier on the hook for shipping expenses. The broker of the load does not know who is hauling the load. The carrier hired to move the load could be vetted to the broker's standards, but then gives the load to his friend, and that motor carrier might not have the proper authority or safety rating to move the load. I'd also like to add in there, or proper insurance. This puts the broker and the shipper at significant risk of any liability, loss, or claim that could occur through the actions of an unqualified motor carrier. Double brokering is frowned upon by shippers and brokers due to the hazards of the practice. Transportation agreements often do not allow double brokering or rebrokering. Frequently, the trucker transporting the freight has little or no communication with the original broker, and the trucker must fight to be paid if they are paid. It is sad that double brokering scams are costing our industry over $100 million annually. MAP 21 laws, which were passed in 2012 and implemented in 2016, say that if you broker a load and do not have authority with the FMCSA, you are subject to a fine of $10,000. At this time, the FMCA has not enforced this section of the regulation. But if you look on Google, you'll see somebody's enforcing it because some people are going to jail. Next slide. What are the risks with double brokering? The risks involved with double brokering are far and wide. Everyone who's involved with a load can be exposed, even if they did not have any involvement in the process. I hope you're listening, drivers. The illegal act can also lead to even more serious consequences or imprisonment. Most of the risk falls on the carrier. Operating in an industry with tight margins can make it difficult to recover from double brokering situation. If you are involved in one of these situations, you can expect the following risk. Reputational risk. Double brokering will instantly erode any trust with shippers, brokers, or carriers. If you are discovered to be participating in double brokering, then the FMCSA can step in and revoke your authority or blacklist you to other shippers, brokers, or carriers. Liability risk. The liability risk can be catastrophic. Double broker loads will not be insured. If there is a claim or wreck that involves injury or death, your insurance provider will not stand beside you or your company, no matter how good the relationship. In a less serious event, carriers can also be held liable for any cargo that is rejected or damaged during transit. Next slide. Blah, 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 blah. Basically, this is the same. Additionally, carriers and brokers can experience reputational damage if the company is confirmed as being involved in double brokering. Involvement can lead to possible... I read this with the other slide. I think I had a double slide almost in here. We're going to go to the next one. If you like, you can read this on your own time. It's almost the same. Next slide. This goes on about the insurance. It gives a little story of what happened to a company. You can also read this at your own time. Next slide. The criminal intent version. However, double brokering isn't always an innocent mistake. It's also a standard fraudulent scheme used by illegitimate companies to prey on careless and unsuspecting trucking companies who see an opportunity to make easy money. Illegitimate carriers and brokers often accept a load for a set fee with no intention of hauling the payload. Instead, they pass the freight on to another trucking company for transport at a lower rate and pocket the difference. The most malicious form of double brokering is when the illegitimate party accepts payment, pockets the fee, and disappears without paying the carrier, which could be you. Next slide. Best practices. There are things you can do to prevent this from happening. Always correctly vet the carrier. Your onboarding process should have a way to weed out any illegitimate companies. Have open lines of communication with your carriers. Relationships with the carriers you work with are so important. If your company finds itself in a situation where double brokering has occurred, I'm going to repeat that. If your company finds itself in a situation where double brokering has occurred, report the offender immediately to the FMCSA National Complaint Database and the TIA, Transportation Intermediaries Association Watchdog Report. Next slide. When you go to Tennessee Business Search, you're going to find these three businesses. They're all active. Hippix Logistics with ICS at the end. Hippix Logistics with STIX at the end. Hippix Logistics STIX LLC. Okay? They're all active. These corporations are all active. 3 of them. Next slide. So, when we click, it comes up B&B Top Management LLC. This was the first one I clicked on. Let me go back to show you now. So that first company there, Hippix Logistics, the very top one, when I clicked on it, this came up, B&B Top Management, with the old address, the 1124 4th Avenue. Okay? 1 member, far right, member manage, 1 member. Next slide. When I open it up, you'll see now right in the middle of the page in that dark blue line, I'm on the history section. I clicked open all the history so you can see a lot of activity, a lot of action been going on. You can review it at your own time, but there's a lot of action. This is the history side. Next slide. When you click on the second one, I believe it was the second one, same thing. B&B Top Management, 1124. And I forgot to point out in the bottom too, no, wait. This is still the first one. But now in the middle here, this is the registered agent. To show you the registered agent is Andre Hippix. Okay, next slide. Now, we click on the second one. And this is Hippix Logistics. I believe it's the second one. I can't remember. You can always go and look. It takes a little while to figure it out. It's a little bit weird the way they have it all set up. But I believe this is when I clicked on the second one. The second one comes up as 40. Or no, let me fix it. This is the third one. Let me see here. So yeah, the third one down here, Hippix Logistics LLC. This is the third one. So the first and second one are tied together somehow. The third one, I believe, eventually ties in too, but it's like, I don't know. It's just, here's the third one. Now let's go back. Where was it? So Hippix, Andre Hippix, the registered agent. We talked about that. Okay, so this was the Hippix Logistics LLC, the third one of the active corporations with Tennessee. Has the current address, 41 Peabody Street, Nashville. Now it has changed also. Now it says number of members, 3. Okay, next slide. This is the history. When you click it open, it shows the history. Some address changes going on and stuff. They do few address changes, these guys. Next slide. This is the registered agent again, Andre Hippix. So on all those active corporations, he is the registered agent. Next slide. Blah, 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 blah. This is same thing again, Hippix Logistics. I'm not sure why I screenshotted this one exactly. It's almost like the other one. Yeah, sometimes you mess up. All right, next one. Hippix Logistics LLC. Number of members, 3. I think this is when I clicked it open. This is the history now, showing the history of the address changes. Next slide. Again, registered agent, Andre. Next slide. Then I did a separate search, which I thought it was strange, but I did a separate search underneath the Tennessee Business Secretary of State, and I just put in this time the BNB Top, which I found, BNB Top Management LLC, Tennessee. This was filed back in 2019. It's also an active corporation. When I click it open, it shows up as Hippix Logistics LLC. I don't know if this is the way Tennessee does their corporation stuff, but usually when you click on one charter or the number, it's going to show you that company. I've never seen before where you click on another company and it brings you back to the other company. I don't know, just pointing it out. Next slide here. This is, again, both of their authorities. Hippix Logistics LLC. Let me see here. Bear with me. I got some good stuff coming up. Promise you. Okay, the BNB Top Management. You can do a Facebook search. I don't know how it's tied in with Hippix Logistics, the corporation, because here it's coming back to some kind of like property management or BNB. He's got a post up. Hi, my name is Andre Hippix. I'm founder of BNB Top Management. I don't know if he's taking this old corporation and using it with Hippix. Something just doesn't look kosher to me. I figured I'd point it out. But this is from Facebook regarding BNB Top Management, even though it's linked with Hippix. Next slide. This here, they have an active website for BNB Top Management, but nowhere on this website does this say anything about Hippix. There's nothing in here about Hippix. On the bottom, it just says 2022 BNB Top Management LLC. I don't get it. Next slide. These are some posts. And some of them came out of a group that I will be doing a show on. I will be doing a show on this group. But there's a couple things here. A fellow Facebook member has shown the screenshots of a potential double brokered load. The double agent is trying to bully them to accept $25 for an entire 4 hours of detention and telling them that the load is now illegally being held hostage for attempting to charge their own retention and layover rates. Don't let anyone bully you, and make sure you cut anyone out who is trying to double broker. Stay away from these apps and stick to load boards, Broker Direct and Shipper Direct. And the person underneath asks, what app was this from? And this guy responds, Hippix. No surprise to me. I just found out about them. What do you know about them? I'm just not surprised at anything illegal in this business. I'm over on the third one now. Pretty new to this, but anyone else use Hippix Logistics app and know why sometimes there's duplicate loads posted in a row. Like one gets posted and before it expires, 3 to 4 of the same one gets posted immediately right after, sometimes assigned by different people, but usually same person. We're going to get to all that. Because the loads are double or triple brokered. And I'm not talking about this guy's response. I'm going to show you some stuff. But this guy responds, because the loads are double or triple brokered, Different brokers will post the same load on a bigger load board, and the smaller companies have software that pulls the load and put it on their app. The software is unable to recognize the fact that it's the same load. It just knows to pull it. Mr. Santiago, you're 100% correct. Last slide. The guy is responding to the Santiago. That's a crime, though, isn't it? I just went back and counted how many times I got the exact same load sent to my phone today, and it was a total of 22 times. Is it just me, or is that a ridiculous amount? 100%. It's ridiculous. Then down here at the very bottom right corner, this Mr. Payton responds as Paul, unless I'm missing something, I've read in many places that double brokering is illegal. Yes, you guys are correct. At least you have some smart guys in this group. Few, not all, few. Next scene. This person, have you had a good experience with Hippix? This person said, I have, just DM you. This person says, sometimes the time and date are wrong on them, and repost with the correct date and time. Blah, blah. A few of them are that. This is just a wishy-washy. Next slide. Here's a screenshot of Sylectus. Somebody posted a screenshot of Sylectus. I don't know why these guys are posting screenshots of Sylectus. But it shows here Orangeburg, New York to New York, New York. Now, this was screenshotted back in 2022, so it's been floating around. Let me see if I covered on the next slide here. Yes. So here on the left is a screenshot of Hippix app. Orangeburg, New York to New York, New York. And it matches with the Sylectus load on the right. Orangeburg, New York to New York, New York. Don't believe me? It's not the only one I have. I got many more. I got even better than this one. Let's get to the next one. This is the Hippix app running. I'm going to let it run here for a second for you. You're going to see it's running. They're going through it. They're showing the load, the pieces, the weight, the dimensions. They're punching in the bid. Need to go back to the beginning. So it should play again. It's going to play again for you. Right here. So Beaverton, Oregon to San Diego. Beaverton, Oregon, San Diego, 102 pounds. On the right is a screenshot from an email dump from Sylectus Loads. Sylectus has email dumps for the loads. So when the brokers are posting their loads, they're going right into these apps. This is not the only app. This is the exact same load. The broker, if they want from Alt Worldwide, they can even verify it. We got the load number and everything on here. It's all documented. Okay? It's got the reference order number even. Beaverton, Oregon to San Diego. Let's get to the next one. Here's another one. Same thing. We're going to play the video for you. 50 pounds, Kent, Washington to Portland, Oregon. Same thing. And on the right, same thing. I have the screenshot from the email from Sylectus dumps. I call them dumps. This one came from Pinnacle. Pinnacle, Kent, Washington to Portland. 162 miles, 50 pounds, one pallet. Exact same load. Exactly. So now we have two brokerages where both their loads were dumped into the Hippix app. Third one. Got another one here. Kent, Washington to Portland. This load was posted by two different companies. The reason why we know this is different is because if you watch the app as it plays out, the note says U.S. citizen or green card holder. So this second time they posted, I believe it was Pinnacle, they put U.S. citizen or green card this time. They updated it. And it pulls exactly what you brokers put in your bid, in your load. Whatever you put in your load will get pulled over to the app. Okay? Next slide. This is what the Hippix app looks on the phone. Now, we're going to get into some good ones here. I'm going to let this video play here for a second. If you can try to remember these loads as we're going. There's, I think, maybe 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. About 6 of them. Okay? Sherwood, Oregon to Stanton, I think it was California. Hood River to Sparks. You guys can play this back anytime you want. Okay? Replay the video even after it's done. I made it easy for you, though. As you can see, the background here is a light beige. I've color-coded everything. We're going to go to the next slide. What I've done now is I've taken screenshots out from this video of this app that somebody's going through this app. I'm not going to tell you how I'm seeing this. We never give up our sources. So, next slide here. As you can see here in the arrows, this is the app, this first square here. Sherwood, Oregon to Stanton, California. Okay? On the very top, you see a small banner clip. Anyone who has on Sylectus, you're going to know where I'm screenshotting this from. Okay, so this is from the actual load board, the face, where you see Exposing Logistics has posted this load. Vancouver, Washington. Oh, did I put the wrong one up here? Yeah, we put the wrong one in here. Vancouver. I got the wrong slide in this one. Figures, we messed up something. Sorry, Roy, but we're going to get to the next one. I think I was supposed to fix this one. Don't worry, I got more. Let's get to the next one. What I'll do later on is I'll update it if anyone wants to see this, because I do have that. I don't know if I could dump it in there now. I got to find it. But anyways, let's go to the next one. Okay, this one all matches here. Okay, so you see the Sherwood, Oregon to the Stanton, California. This is the Hippix app on the left. So the load was posted 2 times. That's why it's gotten dumped into their app 2 times. On the very top, you'll see the face screenshot from the actual Sylectus load board, where it shows Sherwood, Oregon to Stanton, California. This middle screenshot is the next page on the Hippix app, where it shows the load, Sherwood, Oregon to Stanton, California. And now, if you see here, it says weight, 763 pounds. It has the freight dimensions, says cargo van. If you go to the back to the far left corner here where it says order information, you're going to see expedited load. And these are the same numbers from Sylectus. Anybody can go and look and verify this stuff. It has the weight, 763. Measurements, exactly the same as what's in Hippix app, 53, 45, 39. And I want to point out, when I take these screenshots, they're coming not only from Hippix app, they're coming from the emails when they come through. You can either look at the load board or you can get the email drops from Sylectus. And on this one here, I also have when the load hit the board on top. Because I'm a member, I can go back. I can look at all this stuff. So it's very easy for me to put A to Z together. The very last screenshot is from the email dump, where it shows Sherwood, Oregon to Stanton, 980 miles, 763 pounds, and who the company posted it. All this stuff matches exactly what's going into their app. Next one. Now, this load was originally posted by TAT Logistics, Hood River, Oregon to Sparks, Nevada. So I got the screenshot from the main load board. On the left there, order information, which is taken out. Who knows how to use Sylectus? They know where I get this stuff from. You'll see there, weight, 110 pounds, 80 by 56 by 11. Okay? Middle slide, also from the app, it all matches. 110 pounds, 80 by 56 by 11. Says Sprinter, which is funny because over here on the left, it said lift gate or hand unload 1 box. I don't know if something funny is going on too when the loads go over to the app, but that's the only thing that's different. But trust me, it's the exact same load. On the far right is the email drop that also comes from Sylectus. So this is, like I said, TAT Logistics. They're pulling their loads. Next slide. This one is Safe Express Solutions. They posted Salem, Oregon to Sun Valley, Nevada. Same thing. Far left corner there, I have the load information. Okay? Salem, Oregon to Sun Valley, Nevada. Same thing. 110 pounds, 80 by 56 by 11. Far right, you're going to see the email drop. I believe these two are the same. Let me go back one slide. Hood River, Sparks, Nevada. Then back to this one. Oh, this one's different. Yeah, Salem, Oregon. All this matches, whether it came from the load board or it came from the email drop. Same exact information, dumps inside Hippix app. Next slide. And this is all in that video a couple slides back, that beige background. That's the whole video that's showing these loads. Now here we go again. This one with the red arrows pointing to Kent, Washington to Richland, Virginia. Okay, so that's the Hippix app. Second one over, the tall one, is also Kent, Washington to Richland from the Hippix app, 150 pounds, 48 by 48 by 48. Richland, and I put the little square in here. This one's a little bit blurry, but either way, on the far right, we couldn't find the post on the main board. Sometimes it does expire or they pull it off, but we all can go back in our emails as long as we have it set back up and we can see the email dump. So same thing here. This came from, let me see if I can see it. I can't even make it out. Oh, this is BLX. BLX. So they had posted this load, 150 pounds. Same thing, Kent, Washington to Richland, Virginia. So they're pulling BLX's loads into their app as well. Let's see here. Getting through this. We're almost done, actually. Final one here. The first screenshot, Vancouver to Marcy, Vancouver to Marcy, Vancouver to Marcy, Vancouver to Marcy. 4 times. 4 times it must have got sent to the app. We have on here in Swick. I like Swick. They're getting a link to the video if they're not already watching now. So they posted Vancouver, Washington to Marcy. Okay? You see 2,838 miles. It's underneath the far right on that header. Cargo van. You see in the middle screenshot there from the Hippix app, 2,838 miles, of course, Vancouver to Marcy. And on the far right, when they posted the load and sent it through the email system, it matches. Everything matches. Okay? So, let's get to the last slide here. This is all I'm going to say here. What's going on in the Expedite side with Hippix, I've pointed everything out. Everything. They are using that software LoadHive, which is created from Searchable LLC. They've created an app. They've made it look like Hippix. Hippix, because they're on Sylectus and because of the email drops, they've connected Sylectus with that app. That app is pulling all the loads from Sylectus straight into Hippix. Hippix is not a broker. I highly doubt that Hippix has co-broker agreements with all these people. So Hippix is getting the loads from the brokers through Sylectus into their app. Then they give this app to all their drivers who, we have no idea who these drivers are. They only claim to have 1, 0, maybe up to 3 vehicles, but they have so many drivers. Okay? And they send this app out to all these drivers, and these unwilling drivers who don't know any better are bidding again on the load. So Hippix, the carrier, is bidding on the load with the broker, but then the driver has to use their app to bid on the load again. Is this how we're operating this business? Is this company, Searchable LLC and Load Hive and Hippix, all doing maybe a lot more than double brokering? Because to me, this looks like major fraud, collusion, corruption, theft. And this video is going to Sylectus. I've told Sylectus I'm making the videos for them because Sylectus wants the proof of what's going on. The best thing I can say to everybody, especially the brokers, stop posting the emails. Do not use the emails anymore. You want to find out who's truly in this business, doing it the right way and not lying, cheating, and stealing. And I'm going to point out another thing here. They're not the only one with one of these apps that's created from that company. It's very bad. Worse than you can ever imagine. Okay? So I hope I helped everyone out here. I hope the drivers and the good carriers and the brokers start to pay attention and know exactly what's going on. And from what I see here, I think it's very possible that people can get charges. Okay? And I can see a lot of lawsuits flying around because by them doing this, by Hippix even being a member on Sylectus and then doing this to all the other people on the platform, what are you doing to everybody? I think Sylectus should immediately remove them, ban them forever. Because this is why this industry has a bad name. This is why drivers, carriers, brokers, they're all fighting and arguing. Okay? This is why it needs to stop. People need to pay attention. They need to talk to each other. They need to educate each other. Okay? This is Axel. I hope you've all learned something. I hope you will share this video. I hope it gets some momentum. Okay? It's not the only one. There's going to be more coming out. And I hope you enjoyed the video. You can go to my main YouTube. I have all my links there. This video took me about 10 hours to put together between collecting all the docs and everything. Feel free to watch through it, pause it, replay it. I'm telling you guys, it's very bad. And because the freight has been a little low, the volume, I knew something was going on. But because the freight volume had dropped so much, I started paying attention and re-going through some stuff. And I've been talking to some other people, and I've been talking to some other brokers, and we found a lot of stuff out. I knew about this Load Hive. I knew about this search rule. But for Hippix to get away with this is crime. This is crime at an unprecedented level. So I hope people start reporting and take notice of what I put here. Anyways, till the next one, and I promise you, the next one is going to be good also. I'm Axel, and I'm out. I'll talk to you guys later.